learning how to listen to what's actually going on in somebody's head and what metaphors they're using internally, it makes an enormous difference. And a lot of people, they have to build some experience to get to that point. It's not an obvious thing from the beginning, because at the beginning, they don't know how much they hate it even. So I'm kind of here more for people at the step 2, where they're like, no, I'm confident this is not aligned with me and the way my business and my brand should be operating. So I call it adversarial selling or high pressure selling.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that exact thing, because you had some slides. Any way you could show people? Because I think actually,
I can just share these on screen. Yeah.
If people really understand the difference in mindset of where you're coming from in those two places, the difference between adversarial and what you call it, like kind of collaborative or giver style, like to me, that is the first and most important step, is like understanding. Like,
I think so.
The frame you come from. Dusan Jukovic in I forget the name of his book, but he calls this
The Power of Habit.
Your stance, your internal stance.
Oh,
the place you're coming from that you interact with people.
Straight line leadership.
That's the one.
Yeah. Dusan, I knew him way back when, actually. I was very surprised to see that book with his name on it. I was like, oh, buddy, good. He was a hypnotist. He was an NLP practitioner. So I was a clinical hypnotist for 10 years. And that's kind of where I got my start with what I call my $1 million ear process, learning how to listen to what's actually going on in somebody's head and what metaphors they're using internally. It makes an enormous difference. So adversarial selling is high pressure tactics. It's competitive. It's win-lose. Like, I'm
going to beat you. Couple slides down, you had the arrows. That's the one. Right there.
Yeah, pushing against someone or pulling against someone. It doesn't have to be a tug of war, like tugging the decision over a certain line.
Yeah.
And the big thing here is that the high pressure stuff, it looks like winning, but it's so hard to make it line up with the delivery.
And by the way,
so hard.
I can just say that, so my first agency was largely a white label agency. And we had this guy I called Native American Fabio, and he used to go to basically every plastic surgery conference. Like, he was on the road 300 days a year, going to every conference. And what he would do is, like, say he was in Atlanta, he would go, who have I met at conferences in Atlanta? And he would drive over to their office and essentially like kick the door in and like, I'm not leaving until you buy a website. And he was like 260 pounds of like muscle. And he was like kind of like a mean drunk. So he looked like he could just beat the shit out of you. So it wasn't easy to just physically throw him out of your office. And what nobody talked about is in an agency group, it's really cool to show screenshots of Stripe payments and signed a new client. We had lots of those. But man, all the shit you're describing right there, the buyer's remorse, the refunds, the chargebacks, because it would almost always, his sales ended in one of two ways. Way number one is they bought the website and they had the buyer's remorse, and they would often refund and charge back because they didn't really feel good about it. Or two, they would like literally call the cops on him and be like, Rick, get the fuck out of here. Like, if you don't leave, we're not buying a website, get the fuck out of our office. We got a business to run. Right. And nobody talks about like how much more difficult it made the delivery journey after. And we were still able to do some things to overcome that. But man, like, it just started the whole thing on the wrong foot, and you're chasing it all up. So I just wanted to add, because like I have a lot of real life experience with what you're describing right there. And it's like, that's what adversarial selling absolutely creates. And you see this, by the way, really nowhere is this more prevalent than the timeshare motherfuckers. Like, there's a whole industry of people who are like trying to get out of timeshare contracts, and lawyers and all those kind of refunds.
There's now a predatory industry around getting people out of timeshares. Like predatory promises of being able to get you out when they actually might not be able to get you out. Like, that's become a predatory industry as well. It's fascinating.
You gotta love two levels
turtles all the way down,
selling, right?
Yeah. So when we have this kind of thing, the adversarial selling, whether or not the decision is good for the client, the new client, you still are coming from I need to beat you personally. I need to beat you. It's a poker game. I tell people, look, if you've got a script or a call flow that you're using, or a logic structure that you're using in your calls that you would be afraid to share on screen with your clients, with your prospects, you are using the wrong mindset in that script, in that structure, in that process, in yourself.
And that's most of our world, by the way. I call
It
it
is. Yeah.
looking at people like a credit card with legs, or where
Yep.
essentially you're essentially just trying to use words and tactics and those kind of things to pin them down, wrestle the credit card out of their hand, and kind of get started.
Yep.
Go back to that slide where you had the collaborative thing. That was,
You like that one, don't you?
I do. I love it. It's to me, like I had a mentor explain it to me. It's the difference between sitting at the table versus them where you're on opposite sides and you look at them as something to be conquered, versus like, let me put the chair around to your side and tell me how you see it from here.
Yep.
And I'm on the same side of the table and I want what you want. And even if that's not me, I'm going to point you in the best direction. So
100%.
So it's like, I'm in collaboration with whatever your goal is. That's my goal in this moment.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what that is.
Now, I'm an extreme example. I'm a decent salesperson. I mean, I've done a fair number of sales, but all this stuff here that I've got in this card here, this is because I've got good systems, not because I'm naturally a good salesperson. I've got charisma. I know how to talk. I know I'm a 4, just looks based. So I had to learn how to talk, but it's not natural talent. So I had to develop systems. I can't prospect for shit, dude. I can't prospect at all because I can't build a system that feels good to me. And I'm just, you could say I'm weak around that, or I'm fragile, or I'm just too ADHD to make it happen. I've had to develop so many systems to support myself in ADHD and in the internal stuff just to make myself do the things necessary for business. And it's allowed me to get a much deeper insight because my problems are so much bigger than other people's problems are. So it's very much a mess into message journey. But one of the things that I say, there are no magic words, only magic feelings. This is the Maya Angelou type of thing. People won't remember what you told them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. That's the beginning of that journey. Do you want a collaborative journey with a client? You know, there's going to be bumps in the road with an agency client. I mean, it's a messy process, right? Unless you're providing an extremely small productized service, which is fine, but you might not be on a sales call if you're selling something very small, very automated there. That might be more of an automated sales process too. So,
and by the way, I just want to stop here because I get more questions every single day of my life that are essentially like, what are the magic words? And I always compare it to like pickup artists that are looking for like, what's the magic phrase that's going to get her to throw the underwear at you? And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but there is no one magic phrase that just works on everybody. But if you actually care about them and their interests, you'd be amazed at how people open up to you and tell you all the shit you want to know anyway.
You know, one.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll also like my book on Amazon called Beyond the Agency Box, which you can also find by my name, Frankie Finn, and it's got a lot of awesome reviews. And it really just goes deeper on a lot of things we're talking about, everything you need to grow and start a lifestyle agency, from the stages you'll go through to getting clients, to how to create winning offers, to high value deliverables, to wowing clients, to building teams, to building systems, and building a boring factory that's like a 7-figure money machine for you. So if you're interested, I put links for you in the video description, as well as it'll be in the pinned top comment below, and make sure to check those out.